Previously on Emmasaurus. Hey y'all, and welcome to episode 2 of redoing my Lego city. Last week's episode was pretty dramatic, honestly, but I think that's just the kick that I needed to get started in here. A few weeks ago, I realized that I was just not having fun in the Lego city room, so I decided to do something about it. And over the last week, I have had so much fun working on the Lego city in here and reorganizing things and deciding where the modulars are gonna go, how to elevate them. There's been a lot of decisions made, and I would say the major decision that we made this week was the use of wooden planks to elevate the modular, rather than just filling in the whole area underneath with bricks. So this required a trip to Home Depot. Now, I was completely out of my element here. I don't do woodworking. I don't really understand how any of that works, how you buy the wood, who cuts it. That was all very foreign to me, but it went pretty smoothly, and I did have Ross there with me to help out.
Yar, walk the plank.
We settled on a mid-tier piece of wood, and we needed 4 planks in total. They were about $20 each, so $80. Looking back, it might have been better to just splurge and get the higher quality wood for the Lego city, especially since I don't want my modulars to come crashing down, the wood to break, etc. But we went with the cheaper wood, unfortunately, so we're just gonna have to deal with the consequences of those actions. So far, it has actually worked out really well though. If you missed it last week, essentially the whole goal that I'm going with now, and one of the main reasons I wanted to redo my city, was to elevate the downtown area. And as you can see in the back there's a little sneak peek of what's to come in this video. So the goal for the Lego city this week is to start elevating the modulars and just getting a general feel for how things are gonna go elevation wise. And I have to say, I am absolutely loving how it's looking so far. Throughout this video, please do let me know your thoughts and feedback as we go. I'm still learning every day how to make a Lego city. I'm trying to make it my own and make it unique and fun and just a Lego city that I love working on, but I would love your feedback as well. Also, before we get into it, please do consider subscribing to this channel. I'll be working on my Lego city, I believe weekly, that's the goal, over the next few months. So definitely subscribe to stay up to date. So now that I have a few of the modulars placed on top of this wooden piece here, I'm really liking how this is looking. I will say that these aren't the modulars that'll stay there in the long run. I just chose 2 modulars that were kind of just nearby to place onto the wooden plank just to make sure that it kind of worked out, make sure that the spacing worked. Also just to test the stability of this wooden plank because it wasn't the most expensive one there. And the sizing that we chose for the wooden board here worked out perfectly. I was really thinking that it would be nice to have it big enough so we could put a base plate as well as a half base plate, and I like how this looks. It does create an issue going forward with where do we put all of the vehicles that we have, but I figure maybe just roads along the front of the hilly area would work best and just make this a pedestrian kind of situation. But it really seems like these wooden planks are working out well, and I'm so excited to just see this elevation change happening. I am really looking forward to just extending that across over that way into the city, as well as just bringing that down here and creating that nice little hilly slope. And I don't want to spend too much time placing modulars right now. Really, I just need to work on the foundation, which is why I have this second board. This is 25 inches, so it'll fit, I believe, 2.5 base plates. And it will be placed slightly lower than the plank that's already here, and I've been playing with the heights using these big lick boxes. I will say that this won't be the long-term solution. We don't have as many as I thought, plus they're really expensive, and it would be kind of unfortunate just having them under the city, as well as the fact that I want a train going underneath here eventually and have a subway kind of situation, because there is already a subway in the city going nowhere, so we need a train system underneath. But as a solution for now, because I have so many of these, just to get a feel for what the elevation looks like, I'm thinking about stacking one of the bigger boxes with one of these on top, and then probably a second one as well, just because that does bring it down just a little bit. It's enough to make it not too drastic, but it's also a noticeable enough difference that you can see a clear change in the landscape. And I just put 3 of these stacks together, and this should be enough for now, especially since I only needed 2 for the longer plank. And these are, again, just the big lick boxes. They stack and they kind of stay in place, but they don't actually clutch together. But it's sturdy enough for what we're doing here, especially since it's not a long-term solution. As I'm placing the 25-inch piece of wood on top of the big lick boxes, I'm making sure that the big lick boxes underneath are in the right locations just so that it is supported enough. I don't want to have this piece of wood break and my modulars fall through and smash into pieces. That would be absolutely terrible. So I'm just making sure that it's very stable. And now it's time for the fun part of placing some modulars on top of it. And I'm actually loving how this is looking, especially since this is the first time I'm really seeing the modulars on this plank of wood and just seeing the different elevations. But now that I know that the spacing worked out perfectly, I am really excited to play with these blue townhouses a little bit more. I get San Francisco vibes from this. I don't know. I've only been to San Francisco once and it was for literally an hour and I've never seen Full House. So I actually don't know what I'm talking about. However, I am really excited to try something out here and let me know your thoughts on this. Placing one of the blue townhouses up onto the higher elevation level and then one at the lower one just to get like a sloping aspect to it. I'm gonna try it out. Let's see how it looks. So I just moved these things around and this is my first time looking at it. I am so excited with how this is looking, especially since the stairs kind of slope down that way anyways. It almost hints towards a downward gradient. So yes, I really like that. Please let me know your thoughts on that, but I love how this looks. And let me know in the comments, am I just crazy or is this actually San Francisco vibes? Let me know. And now looking at it straight on, I'm getting a better feel for how it's looking, but also where there might be like some faulty craftsmanship on my end. I noticed that the wooden plank on this end was starting to droop down a little bit, which is not good. That leads to destroyed modulars and a very unhappy me and Ross. So I just moved that big lick box just for now. Again, I will be getting better table legs and stuff. This is just an idea so far for like how high I want everything. And like I said in my previous video from last week, is that I really wanted it to be like, you know, kind of high here, dip down, but then back up for that 90th anniversary castle. I have that. It is new in box. It was sent from Lego, so thank you so much to them. I am really, really excited to build it, but that'll go up on a giant hilltop over there, even higher than this plank here. But I still do have these two pieces of wood and they're 30 inches each. That one was 35 inches, that one was 25. So like when these two are laid in front of those, it'll stretch across that whole area. Because I thought it would look nice, even though like the top is kind of sloping and doing different things in the topography. Having this just be steady might make it easier to incorporate a road plate or just, you know, balance everything out a little bit more. Not everything has to be super hilly in the city. So I'm trying to have some like normal things going on as well. And so for now, I'll get everything out of the way. It will be elevated up at least like a little bit. I'm thinking like a box and a half of elevation, or actually maybe a little bit less, maybe like one big lick box tall, or maybe even just a half. Just some sort of elevation so that we have like a high level, a medium level, and then just kind of like table level. But for now, let me just place these across the front. There's just stuff everywhere. Everything in my city is such a mess right now. And then for the second one, just in front, line these up. Okay, so this is kind of what we're going for here. Obviously, we still don't have everything we need, but I am loving how this is looking so far. And I am excited to start planning out which modulars will go where, just so that it actually does make sense in a city. It makes sense with the hills going on. I don't know where I should put the Daily Bugle. I'm thinking probably just like on the top somewhere, since like Ladybird will stand out. You can see like, you know, against the wall, Ladybird in bright red colors, but the rest of it I have just not decided yet. So that's where this city update will end. I've been absolutely loving working on the city in here, and I hope you guys have also been enjoying these city updates. Starting the Lego city from scratch was really daunting for me, but also very energizing because I have so much creative freedom now and so much space to work with, so I am really excited to keep going with it. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this update and you want to see more, please do consider subscribing down below. It really helps me out, and I'll be putting out at least one city update per week, hopefully over the next few months. So definitely subscribe to stay up to date. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.